A beautiful day to you out there. My name is Kemi Tony Akinwumi, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Making Marriage Work. And today I have in the studio with me a wonderful person who is a professional in what he does, and he will be joining me in discussing a very important topic. His name is Mr. Ajibade. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Good to have you on set.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
So today we'll be looking at the challenges of wedding celebration as against what weddings should be. Right, in Africa and in Nigeria generally, right now, Nigeria wedding is a big deal.
Exactly.
People want to have a big party. They want to throw a big party for 3 days, for 1 week, you know, the colors, the big event centers and all of that. And there's nothing wrong in that actually. But we want to look at what really should wedding look like? And what are the challenges for individuals who want to have their wedding parties, but the pressure on social media, the pressure from friends is actually more like a distraction for them. What exactly should wedding look like in your own perception?
Thank you. You know, some of the things that we tell young ones is that there's much more to life than the ceremony of the wedding day. Because you are going to stay with this person for a long time. So rather than concentrate all your resources on just one day, and then from there you build pressure that you now begin to deal with later in life, it's better to make it simple, even though that's simple, it has to be defined, because what is simple to this person may not be simple to the other person.
Right, 2,000 guests may be a simple party
Simple
to
for
somebody.
someone. So, but it's important that you restrict your expenses within your budget, what you are comfortable with. You don't go to borrow in order to sponsor a wedding, a debt that you have to now begin to service 1 year, 2 years after the wedding.
After the wedding. I know a couple like that actually. For, you know, they were already third year in their marriage and they were still paying debt from their wedding party. So I agree with you.
It builds a lot of pressure. But then the pressure comes sometimes from the family. You find some families, they say that because I've been to the weddings of my friend's daughter or my friend's son, and it is like this, and they need to come and rejoice with me. My wedding has to be a particular way so that they also feel that they are part of it. So sometimes it's from even the parents and when the children are unable to resist or they don't know what to do, it becomes an issue for them.
But how significant is it really? Of what benefit is having, you know, a big wedding party? Like you said, it's just a day event and you are going to live a lot of years with this person. Is the wedding contributing anything to how the marriage will turn out?
I don't see it contributing much, apart from the joy and celebration of that day. And then you know that joy, after some time, it will wear out and you have to confront reality. So it's important that, yes, just enjoy that day, do the minimum you can do, because there's so much in the future. It really doesn't contribute much. And that is why you see people who have expensive wedding, elaborate wedding,
that the
give them 2 years.
Last long.
2 years, the marriage has broken down. If the resources spent in wedding was a factor of the success of a home, such home will not break up.
Will not break up.
So it's important for people to have that understanding.
I know that for some people who have the finances, who have the funds and the resources to even have a big party, maybe along the line, you know, we live in a religious society where, a prophecy then comes and say, you can't have a big party, just go and do something small. Many people find it difficult, even at that time, to restrict and to reframe themselves from, but I was planning that 2,000 guests, I want to use one big hall, you know, on the highland or in one very choice area. So I discovered that some people for prophecy, and usually comes as fear, they would then say, okay, I will do a small wedding. But like you said, the kind of wedding anyone has nothing really to contribute
Not really.
to the. But how about those who really have the money? They have the money, they have the resources, they have everything. What do you think?
That's why I said that you have to define what you mean by small. If they have the money, they have the resources, and they want to go ahead to do it, just ensure that at the end of the day, you are not servicing debt, you are not under any pressure as a result of the expenses that was incurred during the wedding. If you have the money, you have the resources, and you're ready to spend it, okay, go ahead and do it. But it's for those who need to go and borrow. When someone takes a loan from the bank, you take a loan of 5 million naira to service a debt, I mean, to be able to have an elaborate wedding, and then for 3 years, you are servicing that loan. It's
and
a lot
that
of
can
pressure.
even put a lot of pressure and issue in the relationship, and it begins to, erode in the marriage. But let's also consider, some people would say that, so where is this pressure coming from? The pressure to have this big wedding, aside family. Is it social media? Is it friends? Is it the age at which we are? Is it that people are no longer, very conscious of the important factors like preparing for marriage? Where are the pressures coming from?
Interestingly, I find a lot of ladies build the pressure for themselves. You discover that this pressure to do elaborate wedding is more with ladies than with men.
I've seen a few men, but I agree that it's
more. It's more with ladies. Because the lady, she has friends when they were in school that she had attended their wedding, the way the whole thing was done, the colors and everything. And then some of them, she wants the friends to come to see to say that I have also arrived. And my man has also arrived. So we need to show who we are. So they go to any length. Interestingly, you find people who will give you a loan of 1 million naira to sponsor your wedding.
And not for business.
Not for business, and not for anything profitable. So some of this pressure come from personal choice, I would say, or desire to show who you are.
To compete.
At the same time, it also comes from social media. You go on Instagram and you see pictures of bridal train, the colors, the way the color is set, and the combination, and everything is just popping in your face. Just in your face. That I want to have this experience. And so even when the resources are not enough to do that, they go to any extent because they also want to post on Instagram, on social media, on Facebook. They want people to see.
Let me shame my enemy. I got married at last. Because some people, that's actually the idea. Yes. After waiting for all these years, now I'm finally getting married. So part of, to show, like you say, to make others say, finally, giving, just showing off, I agree with you. But let's look at it this way. Now we have highlighted a few things that wedding, it's okay if you can afford it. It's not necessary. It doesn't have to be a big party. However big the wedding is, it doesn't contribute anything to the marriage. So what should be the focus when young people are preparing, for marriage? Rather than focus on the wedding day, 3 minutes events where the pastor asks, do you take so and so? That's the wedding as far as I'm concerned. Though in Africa, even in Africa, back then, the origin of how we celebrated weddings were really small parties where you have the family of the bride, the family of the groom. As long as the parents give their consent.
That's all.
A wedding can hold between 7 people actually, or 8 maximum. The couple, the both parents, and maybe 1 or 2 witnesses from the families. But what should be the focus of young people if we are encouraging them not to pay attention to much of the wedding, a one-day event? What should they begin to pay attention to?
I would say they should consider how they will build their home together, and consider the sacrifices that they have to make. Have a picture of the type of home they want to build, and begin to work towards it. When so much expenses have been incurred during wedding, it builds a lot of pressure in the home. I know a couple that 2 years after their wedding, the man is still paying debt. And then the wife says that she wants them to go on holidays to Ghana. And the man says, where do you want me to get the money? I'm already paying some debts here and you're asking for Ghana. And it almost led to serious issues between them. So there's life after wedding. Let them learn to look forward and see in 2 years' time, where are we going to be? So it's important that they have a goal.
Right.
In 2 years' time, where are we going to be? In 5 years' time, what type of home are we going to have? We are going to have children. How do we train them? The truth of the matter is that I told a couple a few months ago, I said, if it costs 2 million naira to sponsor, to pay school fees in Nigeria in a private university now. By the time your children will be 15 years and be ready for university,
maybe 10, 20 million.
10, 20 million. So when they have such a goal that they are pursuing, they will know that this is just a junction. It is not the end of it. So even the extra resources that they may have, they will learn to keep it, preserve it in order to look forward to secure the future. So that is one major thing that young people need to consider.
Fantastic. I agree with you, because there is a lot ahead after wedding. There is a lot of life ahead. So they should invest in preparing themselves, going to seminars for knowledge, information on what it takes to actually build a home. And after that, invest. Even if they have the resources, let them consider that life, there is a lot of life after wedding. If they want to have children, if they want to, build houses and travel and all of that, a lot of investment has to go in that direction. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So I've been speaking with Mr. Ajibade, a professional counselor, and he has given us a lot of insight on how people should prepare for marriage, not just, for the wedding. So it's been a beautiful time, and we hope to see you at the next episode. The well-being of the marriage determines how the children will turn out.